Welcome to FUNC YOU UP, the podcast that gives you the best of functional medicine, nutrition, and wellness in 8 minutes or less.
Hello, this is Michelle Miller, clinical nutritionist.
Hi, this is Diana Orchant, functional medicine registered dietitian-to.
And welcome back to FUNC YOU UP. We are still, yet again, another week here from our homes during this quarantine time. And today we wanted to touch on a few different tips that we're giving a variety of our clients. Basically, a handful of wellness tips to make you stay well mentally, physically, your best version of yourself during this time.
So with that, we have our top 5 tips to keep you healthy and balanced. The first one is 5 minutes of meditation per day.
I love the idea of taking a moment to kind of provide some space and stepping back in your day-to-day, because right now, if we are at home, we're wearing a lot of hats in the same environment. And that's not a natural concept. We're usually able to play the role of, taking care of our family, and then we go to the office, then we play the role of, being at work, and then you go be with friends, you play a different role. So to have to wear all those different hats, your brain can get a little confused. It can get a little overwhelmed. So I like the idea of taking a moment as you're separating throughout the day, those different roles, your different duties, and separating them with 5 minutes of meditation. And don't get overwhelmed if you don't have 5 minutes, just do 1 minute. I do this all the time where I'll just set a stopwatch on my phone, and even for 60 seconds, I'll just take a moment, breathe. There's a couple different breathing exercises you can do, but just because you don't have 30 minutes to meditate doesn't mean you shouldn't do it at all.
Right. And, some of us are, not sleeping that well. We're over consuming the news, eating too much banana bread, anyone? Worrying about things that we can't really control, which really results in a lot of stress, which has downstream effects on our adrenals, increasing our cortisol levels, which can cause a lot of different imbalances to our metabolism, our digestive system, our immune system. So we really need to take just a few minutes every single day to calm down, activate the parasympathetic nervous system so we can rest and digest and stay calm amongst this very chaotic world that we're in right now.
For sure. I think that from an hour to hour basis, our brain is doing a lot of different things. And, in order to show up as the best version of yourself, the best person for your family, for your friends, for your coworkers right now, taking that 5 minutes can make a world of difference. But like we said, even taking 1 minute. Diana, what are some of the different breathing exercises you like to do?
So there's a few. My favorite would be the 4-7-8 breathing technique, which calms me down really quickly. So it's 4 breaths in, hold for 7 breaths, and then let out for 8. If you do that about 4 times in a row, it can make you really relaxed really quickly. Kind of puts you in a euphoric state. Another one that I like is box breathing, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and you just do that over and over again, which is why it's called box breathing.
I love the 4-7-8. I do that whenever I have to have a conversation that I'm nervous about, or if I have to do like speaking engagements, I do that 4-7-8 a few times before I go into that experience. It just kind of helps settle everything. You can think a little bit more clearly. It's really helpful. I love that.
Absolutely.
So counting down on our list of tips, number 4 is trying to work out 4 times a week. Now, I will say this has always been a recommendation of ours to work with our clients, try to get them up to 4 times a week, especially for people who just don't typically work out all the time. We don't want to stress people out and make this a higher demand at this point, but we do want to preface this by saying that a lot of people aren't even getting in the daily recommended steps that they were before quarantine. So although we are recommending 4 times of exercise per week, we still want you thinking about physical activity on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly. And I mean, as much as it might be a little stressful to try to fit this into your schedule, it actually will create endorphins, make you feel good. It's great for your mental health. It's great for regulating our sleep cycles if we're just sitting all day, not getting outside. it's really hard for us to go to sleep at night and feel calm. So that's really going to help. And what we always recommend is do what you love, especially in this time. So whether that be dancing, whether that be finding a workout video, going on runs outside, going on longer walks, whatever you can figure out and fit into your schedule is going to be really beneficial during this time.
And I would take advantage of, there's a lot of free services or a lot of workout services that are offering their programs for reduced cost or free of charge right now or donation based. And so I would take advantage of those. If you've ever wanted to try something out, now is the time. I tried out a boxing class last week. There's different dance classes. The sky's the limit right now. So use this as an opportunity to get a little bit more experimental, because the only exercise you're going to look forward to doing is the one that you enjoy.
And what do we tell everyone? Schedule your day around it. So know in advance whether you're planning out your week on a Sunday or planning out your day the morning of. Figure out when you want to work out and what works for you, and make sure you plan around it.
Yeah, we're really good at creating excuses, and it's not even excuses. We're really good at prioritizing other things over exercise. And I think once we come to the realization that we are more effective human beings when we exercise, we've realized that that should be a higher priority than what we're making it. So I totally agree. I think, figure out the tricks that you need to make this happen, whether it's an accountability buddy, whether it's telling the whole family, look, my time to be working out is going to be at this point of the day on Thursdays, or whatever it may be. Get people on your team to help support you with your goals.
So for number 3, continuing our countdown, is have 3 servings of veggies per day.
So if you've listened to us in the past, you know that we are vegetable obsessed. It's one of the best ways to get some of the most nutrient dense foods into your diet. And I think one of the first things, Diana, I'd love you to talk to us about is we've talked about this on previous episodes, but there's this understanding that vitamin C is really good for the immune system, which we're all really worried about right now. But there's a lot of misinformation that oranges are our best source. Can you talk about some vegetable sources of vitamin C?
Yeah. So there's broccoli, kale, and peppers, bell peppers specifically, which have a lot more vitamin C than your average orange. So people don't realize that, but these veggies have a lot of vitamin C. So we recommend stocking up on those 3.
And it's also going to be helpful because vegetables are going to give you good fiber intake to make you feel full. They have tons of minerals, tons of vitamins. Also just to help with keeping you regulated, keeping your appetite satiated. I could go on and on. We love vegetables so much. But we hear a lot of people right now talking about, well, it's hard to get access to vegetables. So Diana, take me through some of the things that you have found helpful.
So my first thing would be to try to get frozen vegetables if you can. So while some people might be a little skeptical of buying fresh vegetables, or maybe they just don't have access right now, frozen vegetables are an amazing source of vegetables. So frozen veggies are usually picked when they are ripe and then they're immediately frozen. So this really locks in the nutrients, which sometimes makes frozen produce more nutritious than fresh produce. Plus, they can often be cheaper and they last a really long time in your freezer.
So my strategy right now is that when we go to the grocery store, I will try to get as much of the organic vegetables, selection that there is. And then after that, we go right to the freezer section and we get as many of the organic frozen vegetables that we can. We'll use a lot of the fresh vegetables the first week, and then that second week, we're loading up on a lot of the frozen vegetables. And it's a good way to keep a good variety and diversity of that in your diet. I would say most of our clients have one vegetable a day. We're usually trying to push them to having a vegetable at lunch and at dinner. But during this time, especially, we even want to up the ante and try to get to 3 servings a day. So if you're having, eggs in the morning, why not throw some vegetables in there? Frozen vegetables are great for that. You can do like a, egg, an omelet with veggies, or a frittata, something like that. I love the idea of using vegetables between your meals is a good snack option. That's something I always tell my clients, like, do some vegetables with hummus or vegetables with guacamole. And then there's so many different blends of meals right now between, stir fries or stews or salads or whatever it may be, kind of loading in the vegetables whenever you can.
Absolutely. Cauliflower seems to be the base of everything these days, whether it be cauliflower pizza, cauliflower gnocchi. So that's a great way to sneak it in, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
You can always throw in a little bit of spinach to your morning smoothie, and you shouldn't taste it if you got enough fruit in there. So it's a good tip as well.
If everyone that was making banana bread would just switch over to zucchini bread, that would just be one step in the right direction.
So true.
All right. So Diana, take us to number 2.
Number 2 is getting 2 liters of water per day. So while this is a more of a general recommendation, this is about for the average 130-pound individual, because what we really recommend is getting half your body weight in ounces of water a day. So why is water so important, Michelle?
And just to go off that, we realize the average person is not 130 pounds, but we also realize that most people are not drinking nearly enough water. So the idea here is that if you weigh more than 130 pounds and you're not even coming close to 2 liters of water, start there as a baseline and then slowly increase until it gets to your specific, ounce recommendation. But gosh, I mean, our body's made of water. It's so important. One of the things a lot of people don't realize is the first sign of dehydration is fatigue.
And a lot of us mistake hunger for thirst. So while we're all a lot of people are complaining about the fact that they're just snacking more than ever, they're hungrier than ever, try having at least 2 liters of water a day, and we think that it should quench some of that hunger.
So one of the things that Diana and I do, we always keep a liter of water near us. You probably have it near you right now. Cheers. But this is really helpful because this way, if it's halfway through your day and you aren't through that full bottle yet, it's a good reminder of, I better pick up the pace, because ideally you want to be sipping on water throughout the whole day. Beautiful. All right, we're down to number 1. Take it away.
Number 1 is aim to have 1 cup of starch per day. So for those of you that don't know what types of starches there are, they range from bread, pasta, quinoa, crackers, cereals, oats, rice, banana bread.
I don't know what the obsession is right now, but we're just hearing and seeing a lot of people making banana bread. I really hope there won't be a banana shortage anytime soon. But yes, I mean, this is a food. And again, this is a general recommendation. This isn't specific for every individual, especially an individual that's working out a lot. Or some people just really require a higher, intake of starch per day. But we find that a lot of our clients are sitting still right now, or they're just not getting as many steps. In fact, they're getting like thousands of less. Their total steps per day is thousands less than what it was prior to this. So they're really not having the same energy expenditure as what they were having previously. So we really have to be careful. These foods that are more readily processed and metabolized into sugar and then stored as fat, we want to be aware of those, because we don't want to come out of this not fitting back into our work clothes, not feeling good about ourselves, and increasing our risk of any health diseases. So I like the idea of the 1 cup rule, because it really helps to prioritize, okay, what time of day do I really want to have this 1 cup of starch? What is the cup of starch I care most about? And then when you're eating it, you eat it slowly, you taste it, you really appreciate it. You don't just like scarf down like a baguette and you forget about it. You really enjoy the process of it.
And again, that really goes into planning. So, if you're going to have toast for breakfast, maybe you think about, okay, well, what am I going to have for dinner to balance that out? So again, just making sure that you're kind of figuring out your day in advance, which is going to help you get down to master all 5 of these tips.
And I will say too, I mean, if it's someone who loves to have a cup of oatmeal for breakfast and that might be their starch for the day, then you use vegetables as your opportunity to bulk up lunch and dinner so that you're not feeling the sense of lack or the sense of deprivation. You just load up on some of those other foods at the other meal times so that you're still getting, enough calories and you're still feeling satiated. Wonderful. Well, we hope you enjoyed our 5 tips. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. You can follow us at Physio Logic NYC, or you can follow me at Michelle Miller _MSACN. We will be sure to post these rules so that you can take a quick tip every day and kind of try to hit each of these as often as you can each day. And we hope that you continue to check back in with updated podcast episodes in the future. If you have any questions, where can they get in touch with us?
You can reach out to us at FUNCYouUp@physiologicnyc.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us again. And we'd love to hear from you. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a review if you feel so inclined to. We want to make sure that we can reach as many people with a lot of this important nutrition knowledge, especially during this critical time. So stay safe out there, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Funk You Up. Be sure to like, review, and subscribe for more daily tips on living well.